combine algebraic expressions. Today's Friday. Here we go. All right. What we need to do is combine like terms. In algebra, we have constants. Okay? And a constant is just a number. All right? It does not have anything attached to it. It does not change. It is constant. So in this example, my constants are a positive 8 and a negative 3. Okay, those are constants. Then we have variables. And variables are our letters that are representing some number. So variables are letters that represent, and I'm going to put that in quotation marks, some number. Okay? Now you should already know what a constant and a variable is, although maybe you didn't get those words down in your vocabulary. We really want to have those words down in our vocabulary. With a variable always has a coefficient attached to it. And a coefficient is like the number next to the variable. So a coefficient, I'm going to take this one right here. My coefficient for that one right there is 2. The variable is n. Okay? So the coefficient is the number next to the variable. The number next to, don't worry about the date, the variable. Okay? All right? So we're starting out with some definitions so that you understand these, all right? All right. So when we simplify an expression, we're not solving, all right? There's no equal sign here, all right? Did you do this at all last year? Yes or no? Okay. I also call this combining like terms. And when I say like terms, in this algebraic expression, an expression does not have an equal sign. An equation will always have an equal sign, and you are solving to figure out what x is, all right? Or y, or z, or b, or a, whatever it is. In this situation, you don't have an equal sign. So all you can do is combine the alike terms. Well, to do that, I'm going to teach you a system, and then eventually, hopefully, you can do it without the system. So what I've got is 2n and a positive 5n. So I'm going to box the like terms with my variable.
Students, pardon this interruption. At this time, we are instituting a drill. We are doing a hold drill. So please hold in your classrooms. Students, teachers, clear the halls. At this time, I need everybody to hold, and this is a drill. Thank you.
It's nothing other than a drill, and that's where we stay in here. We can talk. It may be somebody's got hurt right outside. Maybe there's a bee swarm or something like that going on out there, and they just or a really heavy rainstorm. A lot of times we hold for really heavy rain if it's during a transition period, because they don't want everybody out there in the hail or that really big rain, and they let it kind of pass, and then we'll go to lunch or whatever. You guys have had this happen before, right? That's a hold. It's not a shelter in place, okay? This is just hold. So we maintain, we do class the same, but we won't let you out to the bathroom. We won't, we're going to keep you in class is what it means, all right? Okay? All right. So what I've done is I've boxed my two terms that are alike, my two variables, because it says terms with n. I always take the sign that's in front of it. So if there's no sign out here, what is it? Positive or negative? Positive. So I have a plus 2n and a plus 5n, don't I? Okay? And when I combine those, 2n plus 5n gives me how many? And when it's in front and it's positive, we won't be writing it. So it's just 7n. Okay? If it was negative, then we would put that negative sign there. How about constants? Remember, constants are the others that are left here because all I have is a positive 8 and a negative 3. So 8 take away 3 is how much? I'm going to put positive 8, negative 3, and that leaves me with what kind of 5? And I am going to write it here because it's in the middle. We always put our variables first and then our constants, and that's how we list an algebraic expression. So now all you're going to do is combine. I have 7n plus 5, and I'm done. Is that too difficult? Okay. Eventually you won't do these steps. You'll just be given this, okay, or you'll be working a problem that just has this, and you just combine them. But if you need to box them or circle, like I'll show you what's going to come up pretty soon, then do that. But always take the sign in front of it. All right, I want to look at number 7. Okay? Terms with t. So terms with t, I'm going to box, and I'm going to box the sign in front of my t's. Okay? And if you want to use circle, that's okay. It's whatever system works for you. All right? So they were just checking to see that I had the door locked. That's all. All right? So I've got a 2t, and it's positive, but since it's out in front, I'm not even going to worry about writing it. Okay? When I make a t, I tend to do this little loopy-loop on the bottom because it can get perceived as a plus sign very easily if I don't. What do I have here? Okay, if there is no number written in front of that t, what is assumed, because we are lazy, that you're supposed to know is there? 1. Okay, if it was 0, it would be 0 times t, which would be 0, so it wouldn't even be there. Okay, so we have really a negative 1t, and I would write it out to remind yourself. Okay, don't skip that because otherwise it's too easy to miss. So now I just have 2 positive, 2 take away 1 is how many t's? 1t. And when you guys are starting out, please write that 1 there. All right? Eventually, I would say you should be able to drop it and know that it's there. But in the beginning, it's always better to write it to remind yourself. So now what are my constants? Positive 6, negative 8. What is positive 6 and negative 8 when you put them together? Negative 2. So now I have together 1t minus 2. Any problems? Okay, I'm going to do one more and then we're going to look at the next side, okay? All right. What do you want me to do? 10, 8, 6. You want me to do 8? All right, here we go. Terms with z. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is box my terms that have z and the sign in front of them. Okay. Then I'm going to write those on the line. The first one is negative 5z. The second one is positive 10z. The third one is negative 2z. Uh-oh, change isn't going to work, is it? Okay, so what do I have that are in common? I have 2 negatives, don't I? So let's combine those because we know that a negative plus a negative gives us a negative. No, we're adding, all right? So we're just combining terms that are alike. So negative 5 and negative 2 gives me how much? -7. So I could, if I needed to, I could write that maybe right up here, or I could write that underneath, wherever it is convenient for you. Then I have a -7, and I could even then cross those off so I don't get confused. I have a -7 plus 10. Now I have opposite signs. What's the rule? Take the larger, ignore the signs. Take the larger, subtract the smaller. 10 minus 7 is what? 3, and keep the sign of the larger. Now, if you noticed when I wrote my Z's, I put a line through them. The reason I did that is because, is that a 2 or a Z? Okay? And in algebra, a lot of times we teach you put a line through your Z's, because then you will know it's a Z and not a 2, and you won't get it wrong. Okay? All right, so now I have my constant terms.
This concludes our drills. Thanks, everybody, for doing an excellent job. You may continue on as needed.
Okay, so I have a -1 and a +6. Opposite signs. Ignore the signs. Take the larger number. What?
4.
Oh my goodness, you are so observant. So I'm going to rewrite those so that they're in order. I have a 4. It doesn't matter. I don't have to, so you don't have to erase, but I just want to do it so that you guys see it as it is. Thank you very much for catching me. So I have 2 terms that are positive. That's just like saying if I put my finger over this, it's 4 plus 6, isn't it? Okay, 4 plus 6 is what?
10.
So I've got 10, and now I have 10 take away 1, which is what? 9. And is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive is correct, because that was a +10. Okay? All right. Now all I have to do is come down here and combine them. I have 3Z, and my 3Z was positive, plus 9. All right. Let's play with some more. Turn that page. We have 2 different constants. Okay? So, terms with X is what I'm going to look at first. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to box my terms with X and the sign in front of it. I only have 2, don't I? I'm going to write those down. I have a 6X, which is positive, and a plus 2X. How much is 6 plus 2?
8.
So now I know I have 8X. I want to do something different. You can use triangles, you can use circles, you can use whatever you would like. I'm going to circle my 7Z and the sign in front of it, and I'm going to circle my 3Z and the sign in front of it, and I have a positive 7Z and a negative 3Z. Unlike terms, ignore the signs, the larger number, subtract the smaller number. 7 minus 3 is 4Z, and keep the sign of the larger number, which is positive. And in this instant, I'm going to write it just so that, because I know it's going to go in the middle. Okay? Constant terms. What's left up here that I haven't circled or boxed?
Positive 3,
Negative 2, so that leaves me what? Signs are opposite, so it's take the larger, subtract the smaller. I end up with 1, and I take the sign of the larger, which is positive. And now I have 8X plus 4Z plus 1. It's not as bad as it looks, right? Maybe. What do you want me to do? You pick one. 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. What one do you want me to do? 15. Okay. Here we go. Terms with X. All right. I'm going to box my terms with X and the sign in front of them. Then I'm going to write exactly what I see on this line. 6x plus 2x minus 3x. I need to combine them. 6 plus 2 is minus 3 is. So I end up with 5x, and it is going to be positive or negative? Positive. Okay. Terms with B. I'm going to circle my terms with B and the sign in front of it. Ooh. What should I write in front of that B right there? 1. A 1. So I remember that that is a 1. Okay? So on terms with B, I have a positive 3B and a positive 1B. When those are both positive, all I got to do is add. 3 plus 1 is 4B, and yes, it is positive. Okay. What do I have left for my constants? I have a positive 7, negative 3, and I have what? What is that going to leave me? Positive 4. Now it's just a matter of combining them. I have 5x plus 4b plus 4. I'll do one more, and then the rest is your homework. Or do you want to get started? Your choice. Anybody want me to do one more? Or does everybody want to just get started? You got it? All right, good. Okay. There you go.